Hi there, this is Robin Norgren coming back to you as a Montessori mentor teacher, answering some questions that some of you out there sent to me as new Montessori teachers or Montessori teachers that maybe have been out of the classroom for a while, or maybe even a homeschool teacher that is trying to implement some of the Montessori philosophy in their home or in a different type of classroom environment. So here we go with my first of 10 questions. Question number 1, what kind of chores can the kids do in the early morning? So in my experience in the classroom I had, we would have a list of what we call jobs in the morning, and you can distribute these jobs however you'd like. And as you're setting up your Montessori classroom, you want to be mindful that you have jobs in the classroom. So for example, if you would like to have a work where they are watering plants, then you would have plenty of plants in your classroom. You would also have some sort of lesson set up for how they go about taking care of those plants. For example, pulling any dead leaves or the amount of water it gets a day, even making up little signs where you put it inside the little, in the soil saying, I've already been watered, or I'm not thirsty, or something like that. And again, and also a way to track, because of course certain plants may not need to be watered every day. So you have to, if you, for example, say you want a chore like, or what we would call in a Montessori classroom, a work like watering plants, you would also then have to structure a way for them to understand what the true care of the plant entails, and not simply we're just going to go around and pour water on plants, right? So watering plants could be one. Another opportunity would be sweeping the floors. And again, this would be a typical work in a practical life environment, but if you want to designate it as a job or a chore, you would then line that out throughout your meetings with your students throughout your school year. So we have watering plants, we have sweeping floors, wiping down tables, cleaning chairs, and especially in this environment where we always want to make sure that things are germ-free as much as possible, because of course we have a lot of manipulatives in a Montessori classroom. So you would then either designate it as a job or have it as an activity that students can do just as part of your morning routine. Maybe wiping down the sides of the table, wiping down the chair legs. You'd be amazed at how much children really do enjoy cleaning, and it's just a matter of just looking around your classroom and seeing what would be appropriate for the environment that you are in. Another opportunity would be just to use a duster to dust around the shelves and dust around corners. So there's plants, dusting, wiping down different items in the classroom. Maybe there is a loose parts activity that you can put together. So for example, if there are materials throughout the day, or if you do actually have a custodian at your school who might find little pieces or whatever, and you designate an area in your classroom where those pieces go, then someone could be in charge of putting away those little pieces in the appropriate places in your environment. Wiping down shelves would be another activity that you could do. Even things like the knobbed and the knobless cylinders, if you wanted to make a point, because those are probably high touch activities, the brown stair, the pink tower, you could then say every morning we are going to clean these materials no matter what, every day. So again, you get to decide how you want to structure that morning, and then really you're making it about like, what does your classroom need, and then you create the activities based on the needs of your classroom, or if you're in a homeschool environment, the needs of the homeschool area that you're using as your classroom setting. All right, so question number 2, how to set up rules to make a smooth snack time transition. Okay, so for me, I have done it a couple of different ways. In a traditional Montessori classroom, we had a situation where we would have like a little blackboard or just a dry erase board where we would write what the snack was for today. So for example, it was bananas and it was Ritz crackers, let's say. And so usually in the environment I was at, many times we had someone who cut those for us. But if you had an activity where you wanted the students to do that in the morning, you would then assign those students to prep snack. Okay, so then they would prep the snack. You would write on the whiteboard or just a miniature whiteboard or a miniature blackboard, chalkboard type tool. And then you would have a table set. My inclination is always that we don't start snack until a certain time. So you couldn't come in at 8:15 in the morning, let's say, and have snack. I would probably say about 9 o'clock we would have the snack table open. There would be some sort of indication that the snack table was open. So either someone would be in charge of putting the snack on the table, or if you don't have a big enough table, again, let me back up. It would be a 2-person table, so no more than 2 people could be at the snack table. And then you would then just open it up. So let's say you had 2 bowls, one with bananas in it and one with the crackers in it. Maybe you had a napkin over the top of those, and then your assistant or yourself could walk over there at 9 o'clock. You could just quietly take the paper towels off. That would indicate that snack is available. Maybe turn around the whiteboard to let them know. And then on the whiteboard, I would write the number. So let's say 2 slices of the banana. So I'd put a number 2 and I would write the word banana, and then I would also write kind of what it looks like next to it for maybe the 3-year-olds who are not familiar with reading yet. And then the second one, if there was, and also 2 crackers, I'd write 2 and then Ritz crackers, and then I would draw pictures of the 2 crackers. And then you'd have tongs, and they would serve themselves onto their plate, take it to the table, 2-handed work, sit down, and then they can sit and talk with whoever is at their snack table. Now, saying all those things is general rules, right? Now, of course, do you need a timer? You don't necessarily need a timer unless you find that they need you to give a timer. And so then you would have a little timer that's there. Once they hear the timer, it does not matter if you're not done eating. Oh, next time you'll need to make sure that you are paying attention and you are eating. So all of these things, this is why this is the beauty of a Montessori classroom. Nothing is set in stone. You set how you're going to start. Your students always know that we are going to have room for conversation about how things are going in the classroom, and then you're going to make changes as we need to make those changes, and they can be a part of that process of what do you think we need to do. Is someone staying at the snack table too long? Is someone going to the snack table too many times? Because that'll be another issue that you might potentially need to address. Someone who is always going to the snack table, things like that. Sometimes there's kids that are so engrossed in their work they forget to go to the snack table. So again, these are just little things that you're tweaking throughout your time in your classroom for this full year with your students, where you make these adjustments based on what your children are showing you. Okay. Now I've had other settings where a snack table wasn't possible. We didn't have a 2-person snack system, where I was in a charter school system and everybody would just have snack together at a certain time. So again, it's based on what the expectations are. If you are in a charter school setting, what is the expectations for that charter school setting? And are you allowed to make modifications where in your classroom, if you're able to acquire a 2-person table to eat, then that's what you would do, or a 4-person table, that's what you would do. Okay, and then a couple of things to maybe even think about as well is if you have the opportunity, or if you have a parent that is maybe wants to help volunteer, you could maybe come up with a system for what you're offering as snack, and then have little cards laminated that tell them what the snack is for the day, and that way you don't have to write it on the whiteboard. But again, this might be something that potentially will be a writing work for one of your students who are older in the classroom. So I like having that activity where they can actually write it on the board themselves. Okay, Question number 3. I feel the pre-reading lesson I have in the training is so basic that my kids won't like to work with it. If you can give me some ideas to enrich the students' vocabulary. Okay, so I have created a Montessori program, many of you know, where within the curriculum, I break down um, what letters you can focus on, what sight words you're focusing on, and then of course I use a system that is widely used in the AMS uh, program, which is a American Montessori Society program, which is called the pink, blue, and green activities. And it's broken down based on what the concentration of the letter sounds are and the letter blends are. So if you have the opportunity to look into that, I really love that system because you could build on it very easily. That then brings some vibrancy to your reading program, because I would agree it's not as dense as I would like in the traditional Montessori training, but you have the opportunity to make it your own. So I would take that, I would look at that system, the pink, blue, and green system, and then I would start to modify it based on the students I have in the classroom. So pink is the beginning of that system, and you will find that there is matching work, there's 3-part cards, there's rhyming work, there's simple CVC phrases and action words and things like that, where they can start to build their reading and their well, basically your letter acquisition and your word acquisition, and then from there you can build reading from it. And these pair beautifully with the Bob books that are out there, the blue readers, the red readers, and even if you're lucky enough to have like bought or purchased, or a parent has purchased some of the Montessori readers, which are really beautifully done, then those will pair nicely with that pink, blue, and green system. All right, let me end with one more. I have a diverse classroom where most of the students don't speak English. Okay, so what I have to say about that is something that is a really wonderful part of a Montessori classroom, is many times you're going to have international students in the classroom. Here's the thing, children, let's say it that way, children pick up language so quickly. So the way you just continue to allow your environment to be that warm and welcoming environment for all, right? And then the way you build the English language into what it is that they're doing is you label everything. So in the same way that we have the labeling work in the classroom for the students who are English speaking to learn how to read words, that very same way is how you're going to handle your children in the classroom that don't know how to speak English. Again, I will say though, here's another wonderful opportunity, right? Because depending on the languages that are represented with the children that are in your classroom, you can then go and create labels of their language and put it up as well, so that the students also get a chance to learn their language as well. So I hope you enjoyed this part. This is part 1 of a 3-part series of Ask a Montessori Teacher, and feel free to drop below in the notes in YouTube or wherever you find this video, over on Instagram or TikTok, any of the questions that you have, and I will be happy to answer them. Well, thank you again. This is Robin Norgren, and if you like the content that you are seeing here, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.